Are we starting?
Okay, so basically, McKenna made me watch Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and the movie for Bungou Stray Dogs.
Yes, sir. What did I just say? Okay. Okay.
How much do you like this show?
I really like this show.
You really like this show?
Yeah,
I don't really like this show.
I know.
I don't think it's very bad,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So the first thing that I have in my notes is just that the premise of the show isn't very interesting, and that's why I don't really like it that much. I'm just not
I'm
interested
mostly
in
just.
it overall.
I really like the fight scenes and I really like the characters. I think that's what kept me interested, and I like the moments too. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the premise is that they're in a detective agency and they all have superpowers basically, or at least
Yes.
most of them do. And that's just not that
Or they
interesting.
think they have superpowers.
Yeah, that's just not that interesting to me. But I did like how some of the powers are like very weirdly specific.
Yeah.
Like
Some of the names of their powers had like nothing to do with what their power actually was, though. That was kind of weird. But anyway, go on.
the doctor has the power to heal people, but only when they have a fatal injury. And that's one of my favorites. And then there's
Yeah.
the lemon guy. His power is that he can survive explosions, but only when the bombs are lemon shaped.
And then, okay, Kenji's is basically pretty simple, like super strength, but it's funny how he has to be hungry in order to use
Yeah.
it. Like, if he's, like, full, then he can't. Seriously, that scene where he was literally, like, the bullets literally weren't affecting him at all. Is that super strength, too?
I guess.
I didn't...
One other thing about the premise is that I thought it was going to be more there was going to be more detective stuff
Yeah.
since they are in a detective agency.
There was detective stuff in the first season.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
after that it becomes mostly just like
Like, battles against the port
yeah, it's just like an
mafia.
action show.
Yeah. I feel like season 1 was the best season. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Next is stuff that I wrote about season 1.
Okay.
I wrote that I liked the detective stuff in season 1. Like, there's a lot of smart stuff that happens in it. And I wrote down that it gave off a similar vibe as Be the Beginning,
Yes.
except you can actually follow what the detectives are saying,
Yeah.
unlike Keith Flick in Be the Beginning.
Okay. That was so funny. Yeah.
Like, there's the episode where that police officer shot the other police officer, and the way they find that out is pretty smart. But one problem I had with the detective stuff in it is that it's more like, especially in that episode, it's more like they're just guessing what happened and then slightly changing it to fit more details that are revealed or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like another show I watched, which is called Inspector, except that show is like they're literally making up stories as they go. And in this show, it's supposed to be a detective thing, except they're doing the same
Yes.
thing with the crime mystery stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. But it is pretty smart, so I like that. The first season is also a lot more episodic than the other seasons, meaning like each episode is its own story, basically.
If I'm being honest, I like the first episode of the series more than the whole series and the movie. Like, I would rewatch the first episode over and over again.
Okay, next is Octagawa in season 1. I kind of said this in the tier list video, but I'll say it again here. I thought Octagawa was gonna be a really cool villain because they set him up
They kind
really
of
well.
ruined his character.
They just ruined any potential for him to be like a scary villain.
Yeah.
Because he's just like really goofy. Like his character design is like really bad. He's
Yeah.
like really skinny.
You're really skinny.
Okay, but I'm not a villain.
Okay.
He's like it looks like he's trying to look like a villain, but
Well, he
failing.
I feel like he tries to stay scary a lot, though.
I think it would have been better if he was actually scary
Okay.
though. He's just kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And the thing when he's coughing,
Yeah. I like that.
That seems like a thing that he does on purpose to seem like that's like his thing, his
it is
gimmick.
his thing.
It's like it just seems like a really it just seems funny that he probably came up with that himself and he was like, I'm gonna be cool and just cough randomly.
But since every scene that we knew he was about to come, you would start coughing while we were watching it. I feel like his backstory with Dazai is really sad, though.
I thought it would have been I thought it would have been better if they did more with that.
Yeah,
and
would have.
I'm gonna talk about that when I talk about the backstory episodes for Dazai.
Okay.
But when
They didn't really have, like, specific episodes that were just dedicated to, like, him and Octagawa, though. Like,
yeah.
Dazai's backstory, of, like, his backstory episodes, they didn't, like, there was one time where they showed him and Octagawa in a scene. But, like, I don't know. They should have included that in the backstory episodes.
Like, they have that one scene where Dazai is, like, beating up Octagawa in the training.
That.
But then they don't have really anything else.
Except for when Octagawa, like, kills those members of a random agency, and then Dazai's like, I have no use for useless subordinates. Pew, pew, pew. And then Octagawa's like, no! And then he uses that force field thing for the first time.
Yeah. But I think they could have done more with Octagawa. The next thing I have is, it's from that scene in the alleyway where, they get, like, trapped by Higuchi. It's the blonde girl.
Oh, okay.
And I was surprised that, Naomi and the brother, like, actually died. I was like, oh my god, they just died.
Yeah, I was like, what? They're dead.
But they didn't die. So.
I was really confused at first when they didn't die, but I hadn't met the doctor yet.
When I first watched that, I was like, wow, there are actual consequences for them messing up.
Yeah.
And the enemies being smarter than them. And even though they came back to life...
I thought Naomi was dead.
Yeah, I thought both of them were dead.
And I was really sad when they died, even though we had only known them for, like, 2 episodes.
Yeah, but, I liked how there were actual consequences for their actions, even though, it ended up not really doing anything.
Yeah, we didn't know about her yet.
Yeah. I wrote down that there was some cool teamwork between Dazai and the blonde glasses guy.
Wait, one more thing about the other... I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
No, but it actually was good. What was I gonna say? Oh, but there actually are consequences, because then they get tortured in order to get healed.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
I know what you meant.
The torture is just, like, more comic relief than, like, serious mental consequences.
Yeah, but it's
which I
still
feel like
scary.
there would be. Yeah, I was saying there was some cool teamwork between Dazai and the blonde glasses guy.
Yes, that scene where, like, they're like, Dazai, and then they're like that, and then, like, they both jump and they show, like, their heads. Like, that was cool.
I thought that was really impressive.
It was. I loved that. And, like, the whole episode, Osuji was just like, how are these two partners? Because they were always fighting.
And then they work well together. But they don't really have any of that in the later seasons, which I was disappointed by.
Yeah, they barely show them as partners. And, like, until, like, literally, no, it didn't even, I think they had an interaction. They had interactions, but they didn't show them partnered up.
Yeah.
It was,
I'm
mad about that.
I wrote down that there was some cool, like, kind of emotional stuff, there was I don't really remember what the plot of the episode was. I just remember this moment because I thought it was cool. It's when they were with there was a girl who turned out to be an enemy, and then someone shot her at the end of the episode. And I don't remember what the actual plot was. I just remember that moment because I thought it was really good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to slap you. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. So it was basically an episode with Dazai, the blonde glasses guy, and then this blonde glasses guy, he felt guilt about some mission that he had in the past. Because this other kid's dad died, and this kid had a gigantic fish tank thingy.
Yeah.
And basically,
with that big fish that had like no space in the tank.
And basically, okay, so someone was capturing people, like this is more detective stuff from season 1, and they were like bringing them things, and it turned out that was the taxi driver, but basically the taxi driver brought them to this like abandoned hospital thing, and then like it turned out there was this girl who was like drowning in a tank or something, and then she's like, someone save me, and then like he was like, oh my gosh, and then there was this whole joke about Dazai having sex with her for the whole episode, but then it turned out they weren't actually having sex because Dazai was just joking, but that's not important. Are you starting to remember the episode now?
I remember it. I remember the girl was evil or something.
But like, you were like, as soon as they said that someone was doing something, you were like, I knew that was gonna be her or something.
Alright.
I feel like I described the episode pretty well. That made perfect sense.
Some other emotional stuff is the 2 episodes with Kyouka, the first 2 episodes. The one on the train where she has killed 35 people, and she doesn't want to kill 36 people, so she jumps out of the train with the bomb on her.
Why am I laughing?
And I thought that part was really cool. And then the next episode is like really good also, because Atsushi just spends an entire day with her, leading up to taking her to the police station. But then,
and it turned out she knew the entire time.
Yeah. And then they don't actually go to the police station because the Port Mafia attacks.
And Octagon was like, ooh, I finally got the toy thingy, the plushie I wanted so bad to her. And then he was like, stab, 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 you're coming back. Okay.
The next the next episode, which is on the boat, has like Octagawa saying his philosophy stuff about how people need to have worth in their life.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of weird. I didn't like it that much.
He learned it from Dazai, though.
All the villains in this show are kind of like not very good.
Yeah.
They don't really make sense to me. But I'll talk about that when we get to like season 2 and season 3. And the movie especially. 3
of them are very hot to me though. Gyu.
I think season 1
Demon. 2, yeah. Okay.
I think
Mark. Okay, I need to stop.
I think season 1 was the best season.
It was.
Because it had the strongest moments, and it had pretty much every episode had like at least some interesting stuff since we were meeting all the people in the agency, and everyone had like a smart moment in every episode.
Yeah. I feel like Dazai had more funny moments in season 1. But he had funny moments in like every episode he was in.
And towards the end of the season, I stopped really liking it that much because it got more action focused instead of detective focused, like with the boat episode.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that much.
Yeah, that was boring to me when the Octagawa and those 2 random guild members. Wait, is that the same boat scene we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the one with Kyouka.
Oh.
Back to season 1.
Okay.
Season 1, it kind of gets less interesting towards the end, and then it just ends. There's no finale or anything, and it's kind of weird. But I still think it's the best season. I thought it had the strongest moments and the most interesting episodes. Especially with Kyouka. I thought the 2 episodes with Kyouka... Honestly, I think those 2 episodes are the best in the entire series. Out of everything.
Okay.
And you said the first episode is the best.
Well, it's the best to me. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's actually true. It's just the one
Well,
that I enjoy the most.
that's what we're saying. We're saying which one is our favorite. Okay, but next is season 2. So, season 2 starts off with 4 episodes of Dazai in the Port Mafia, but it's
Is it
actually
4 episodes?
it's 4 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually focused on some guy we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I thought the story in that was pretty cool. Just the stuff that happens is cool. The guy has a cool power,
Yeah.
like looking forward in time, and then the battle with the other guy who can look forward in time is pretty cool. But after we got to the main plot of season 2, I was just like, wait, what was the point of the first 4 episodes?
Yeah.
Like, they don't contribute to the actual plot of season 2 at all.
It was just trying to show more of Dazai's backstory,
But, like,
I guess.
I feel like if they want to show Dazai's backstory in the Port Mafia, it would have worked better if they focused more on Dazai, and if Dazai was actually, like, a different person in the Port Mafia, because I think he acts exactly the same as he does normally.
The only time we ever see him actually acting different was when he was with Octagawa.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
scene with Octagawa
Yeah.
in season 1.
And then there was this other thing they showed with in season 3 with Kyouka, and Octagawa was explaining how he saw someone else's eyes that were like filled with hatred for themselves, and he was actually talking about himself. And they showed that small clip of him with Dazai when Octagawa was like a little baby child. That was, and then like Dazai, he didn't even say anything in that clip though. Dazai was just like evilly staring at him. But like, yeah, that's like the only other thing. I don't know though.
But yeah, I thought those 4 backstory episodes were just like a waste, kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything useful. You mean that?
There was one scene in season 2 after those episodes where they showed the Ogwai guy again.
You mean the policeman?
No.
Ongo?
Yes.
That's the policeman.
Yeah. He's a policeman?
Yeah, he works for the government.
That's not what a
Well,
policeman
I don't know.
is.
Well, I'm just saying he's like law enforcement. Okay.
Okay.
But like,
Chris.
I thought you were gonna say that, and I thought of this. You don't need to know who the policeman is. I'm just calling.
I know.
him the
I
policeman
was
because
just trying to say that he was in the backstory.
Yeah, I
and
know.
then Dazai had that iconic scene where he's like, "Ongo, you're looking good," and then he was like, "Boom, boom, boom, boom."
Yeah, you meet Ongo in the backstory episodes, but you really don't need to meet him. You don't need 4
Yeah.
episodes of stuff focused on someone we haven't seen before to learn who Ongo is. And you don't even need to know who Ongo is.
Yeah.
You just need to know that he works for the government, which didn't need 4 episodes.
He just like randomly shows up sometimes though.
Yeah, but like, I'm
I
just
mean,
saying
those
it's
4
not
episodes
necessary.
kind of are important though, because like they show why Dazai left the Port Mafia.
But you didn't need 4 episodes for
Yeah,
that.
that is true. They could have just like showed a tiny flashback of him when that guy was dying in his arms, and then be like, "You should join." Da, 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 da. You just wouldn't really understand all the emotional stuff behind it.
Or there could just be like a side story,
Yeah.
not in the season, and then maybe Dazai mentions it in the actual season.
Maybe like a separate movie for the backstory.
Maybe. Okay, now to the actual plot of season 2, which is
The guild.
Yeah, the guild and the 3-faction battle.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting, how they're all battling each other.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be more stuff where the agency and the Port Mafia have to team up against the guild, and I was kind of disappointed by that. But
We didn't really
I
get-
still thought it was interesting.
We didn't really get that much of the Port Mafia and like the armed detective agency teaming up. Like the only thing we really got was when like Otagawa and Asushi teamed up. But other
And
than
they were
that,
still like yelling about how they hated each other
Yeah.
throughout that fight.
like they would sometimes be like, "Okay, we gotta work together," and then they'd be killing each other 2 seconds later.
Yeah. During this season, I started getting annoyed about 2 things.
What?
so there are a lot of scenes where people get shot up a bunch and they're like laying on the ground like they're dead, but obviously they're not dead. Like there's this one scene where some people in the agency and some people in the port mafia are about to fight, and then the guild shows up and they just like kill everyone. But obviously they're not dead. It's like all the main characters are there, and it just kept happening in season 2, and I was getting annoyed by it. And another thing is, throughout this show, they do the thing where there's like a gunshot, but they pan away so you don't see what happened in the gunshot. But it's like, I know that person isn't dead. You don't need to do this.
I know that person isn't dead. Sorry, that's really funny.
Yeah, and they pan away, and it's not like they cut to a different scene. They just show what actually happened, like, right after they pan away.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was the point of that? That made me mad. I was angry. Next I have the episode where Atsushi is on the Moby Dick, and he talks with Lucy. I liked that scene. That was pretty cool. Lucy had some good character development, and her power is cool. I talked about that in the tier list video, I think.
I'm just really freaked out about how I got deja vu from that scene when I had never watched that show before. What if I met Lucy? What if that world actually exists? What if I got panned into another universe? Sorry. That's like a very on topic, but so off topic at the same time. What if I had like a nightmare or something? I don't know. Sorry guys, this is irrelevant to the show.
Okay, so the episode where Atsushi is trapped, where he's like imprisoned and he talks to Lucy, it also has it sets up that the crazy boy who has the doll and the razors on his arms, he gets like trapped in the tree so that everyone touching trees is like hurting him.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna get mind controlled by the doll.
Yeah.
And then they break the doll and the city goes into chaos. And I was like, wow, this is a good setup for the finale. The Port Mafia and the agency are gonna have to team up to stop this chaos. But then Atsushi gets the doll. He gets off the Moby Dick. And Dazai's just right there.
Yeah.
And then
he
just
set
ends.
up these egg things.
Yeah, and then it just ends. And it's like, oh, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
I thought
it
this
ended
was
really
gonna be
quickly.
Cool. But that's not the finale of the show, though. Or of the season.
Yeah.
But I thought the actual finale was a lot less interesting.
What happened in the finale for season 2?
It's where Akutagawa
and
Atsushi fight the money man.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the fights in this show are really that good, except when there's teamwork between Dazai and Kunikita.
Or when it's Chuya.
Chuya is pretty cool. His power is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll say that his fights are good.
Yeah. Dazai just goes like this though.
Yeah, because he doesn't have an offensive power.
But his partnership is really cool with like what you just said.
But none of the fights are really that interesting, except when there was teamwork between Dazai and Kunikita in season 1. And after that, it's just people using their powers to attack things.
Yeah.
And there's nothing interesting happening.
I like, what's the girl's name again?
Which girl?
Who's your favorite character?
Kyouka.
I like her fight scenes.
Yeah, she's cool. She's like an assassin, and then she has demon snow.
I like how she would just pull her knife. I said this in a tier list video, but I like how she would just pull her knife out, and she, like, randomly she'd be like, let's kill him, or something. Like, those scenes were funny.
But, just like the other characters, Kyoka's fights don't have anything interesting going on.
But she had potential to have interesting fights.
Yeah. And the animation of the fight scenes aren't really that good. Like, this show does the anime thing, where instead of showing, the actual, like, swords clashing and stuff, they just show a bunch of, like, glowing lines, and then sword sounds, and then it just, like explodes or something.
It's like, okay, let's fight, and then it's like, boom, 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 and then dead.
Yeah. I didn't think the final fight in season 2 was that good. And they
It was fun to see Octagon and Asushi fighting for the first time together, though. For me,
I didn't really care.
guess,
I didn't care
I
that
guess.
much about it.
I didn't care that much.
I
about
didn't
it.
care that much about
I
it.
didn't care that
And
much.
I thought it was just kind of weird how they were shouting about how they still hated each other.
Like, remember when, like, he was like, wow, you two are so much alike. And then they were like, don't ever compare me to this guy. And they both punched him at the same time.
The finale has the Kyoko Sacrifice that gives her, or it makes her able to join the agency, and I liked that. That was a good moment. Yeah, that's all I have to say about season 2. Do you have anything more to say about season 2?
Oh, wait, was this in season 1 or season 2 when Shuya showed up for the first time?
I don't know.
I like this.
Okay. I thought...
Oh, another scene I like is when the golden demon girl came for the first time.
Okay. You mean, isn't she Dazai's sister?
Dazai has a sister?
Yeah.
He does?
The other girl with the demon.
That's
Right?
Dazai's sister?
I thought they said that. I thought... Like,
That's Dazai's sister?
I thought they said that, yeah.
What?
Anyways, I thought the plot in season 2 was more interesting than season 1 since there was, like, an actual plot
Yeah.
overall the episodes. But it didn't have any of the strong moments that season 1 had, like with Kyouka.
Yeah.
Except for her sacrifice. But there's nothing with any of the other characters that are like, wow, strong character moment.
The airplane moment.
Yeah, with Kyouka.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. One of my favorite scenes is, yeah, what we just talked about. And then also with Kyouka again, when she comes back and like they're in the agency. And then, like, they have this big party for her.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, welcome to the agency. And then, like, she looks really happy, and it's really sweet.